Funny enough, we sitting there talking about Miss Lanithia Monique Leaks. Let's get into it. That was the next topic. Well, look at y'all keeping me on track of what the topics are. So yeah, so since we are talking a bit about the faggot talk situation, I do want to pinpoint something because y'all was up in here saying that World the one that made made Maddie apologize. Actually, in when she was on Fact Talk earlier, Maddie said that World Wonder did not put her up to apologizing. In fact, she said that RuPaul understands what it's like being a woman. She called her a woman of color. Being, as a drag queen, all this stuff, how in this space that when you say things to people, how they want to have you get canceled, they want to call for you to be removed from Drag Race because he had made Maddie made a comment about I don't remember what the whole gist of the conversation was, but somebody jumped in the comments and said something towards T.S. Madison, and Maddie was basically like, um, well, you need to hide up under the bed because ICE is gonna come get you, like something or another like that. And people felt like, oh, you out here saying like stuff like that, but it's like y'all be windmilling her in the comments. You already know, like Maddie was gonna come up here and say something, and then got into the whole breakdown of Latinos who sit out here. I will vote for Donald Trump. Like y'all be so quick to do that because y'all want that closer proximity to whiteness. But then a lot of you Cubans and I know blacks, Dominicans and all, or one of my friends says Dominicans, but that's a whole nother. And he is Latino, so he be saying it. Let me not be out here snitching on my friends. But so yeah, when some of y'all be out here just going in and letting have and voting against your own personal interest because like, oh no, I'm legal, so they're not gonna come for me. They're coming for everybody. They don't give a good goddamn if you are of here or not of here. They want everybody out because don't even get me started on the whole colonization of this country from indigenous people and all that. But we can go into a whole history lesson, but I just want to focus on this at hand. So she did address all of that stuff. So she said no, she took it upon herself at Pride to apologize to the Drag Race girls because she didn't want them to think in that sort of way. But I have to say this, Maddie, I understand that you from Miami or Florida or whatever case, and I know how y'all fight out there. Like y'all, everybody gets it. I get all of that. However, you have to think that when you are on a specific platform, y'all can't be out here just crazy with the mouth like that. But then again, I always tell people, you cannot poke the bear and tell the bear how mad to get. Because at the end of the day, these people are human. And when you are in a space like T.S. Madison is, where her whole bread and butter is going in and letting have on, being a public figure, having her own talk show, that sort of thing, she is putting herself out here on the line for her audience. So when y'all be up in the comments just clipping things and putting it on Reddit and then starting this whole outrage, like at least have the whole nuance, have everything, all your I's dotted, all your T's crossed, all that good stuff. So that way we know what the T is. Instead of y'all just going with a clip and y'all be ready to, come up. Y'all want people head on a pike because they said something you don't agree with. But you be out here saying crazier stuff. Now, what if somebody will go and report what you saying to your job and then you lose your job? But because they public figures, and then she was also saying like, um, even if they was to fire me from World of One on those other stuff, like I would still get a bag. So, and y'all only know her from Drag Race, but I've been following Miss Mama since her Vine days. 22 inches of weed. So Maddie been around here for a long time. But nevertheless, she talked about that, but then she also got into the whole Nene leak situation. So for those of you who are not familiar with what's going on, apparently people are out here calling Nene Leakes transphobic because of a comment that she made, especially about men who sleep with trans women. And I feel like, well, I'll give my overall opinion if I think Nene is transphobic, especially because, a lot of people think, oh, here we go, when it comes to these black women who sit up here and use gay men as accessories. Y'all, you like us when we can kiki with y'all, when we doing it, when we gluing y'all lace fronts down and we beating y'all faces when y'all out here looking like you can compete with the drag queens and the dolls. But then when it really comes out down to the situation of supporting queer people, all of a sudden, the real side of y'all come out. So I do have the clip. I was like, please tell me. I was like, wait, what happened to the clip? Because I would have been real mad if I would have lost the whole situation. So yeah, I found it over there on the Twitter. We're gonna sit over here and play. If y'all want to see it's funny how this is the second Nene Leakes interview that we talked about on this show, where I was like, first it was Tamar and some of the stuff that she was going in on, Big Back Cadillac and all that mess. And now we got this whole situation, which is rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. So yeah, so let's go to the video. Hold on, let's find the clip, and we'll come back and we'll talk. So
do you only know gay men?
Well, I don't date gay men.
Well, okay. Well, I when you guys be saying that, that's weird.
Why?
Because what do you mean you don't date gay men? Because if he is sleeping with you and sleeping with a woman, he's something.
Well, he's not gay.
What is he?
He's definitely not gay.
He's bi?
Listen, because if a man come in here and he looks at me and you,
yeah, what is he?
Well, he likes women.
Yeah, because he doesn't know.
Well, if he does know, he likes women.
Okay.
Now,
but what is he?
Well, that will possibly, it's a possibility.
He's bisexual?
He could be bi or he could be pan.
Okay, guys.
You know, a lot of men are
yeah.
a lot of men are pan, but they don't say anything. Like
I don't want to run into them. I don't want to date him.
Nene, if you've dated men,
I need you to like
Nene, if you've
Hello
dated
Kitty all the time.
If you've dated men,
yes.
If you've dated men, there's a possibility in your life that
he's been with a man.
He's been with something.
What do you mean he's been with something?
He's been outside. I mean, here's the thing. I know that women consider trans women men because we were born male. But there's a difference between being man and male.
I get it. But you have your part.
That's correct.
So he can love you and think you're so beautiful, and I want to sleep with you.
There are men who deal with me that won't touch my parts. Anytime you see
But does he know it's there?
Yeah, he knows it's there. I'm not hiding it.
Oh, you're not?
No.
I mean, that
wouldn't
make any sense.
Well, I've had gentlemen to tell me, hey, put a pillow over that. And I'm like, well, you're not the nigga for me. You don't have to touch it and deal with it, but I'm not hiding shit from you.
So, okay, wait a minute. We got to go back and figure this out.
Yeah.
So the man.
Now we talking.
Yeah, so the man going to be sleeping with me and you? I don't want to talk to him no more.
You don't?
Why the hell you going to sleep with me then going to sleep with you for?
Men like variety.
Oh, please. I don't want him.
Well, shit. I mean, hey, but it's happening.
I'm over it.
But these things, this is what women.
That's why I'm not even dating. I mean,
all right, y'all. So yeah, so there was that. And I feel like with some of that being said, that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because first of all, I feel like on Nene's ignorance, first of all, I'm glad that she had the conversation. And because there's a lot of women who feel the way that she does. And I think that in that context, women think that if a man gets with a trans woman, then that means he's gay, he's bisexual, he's pansexual. Y'all always want to put a label on what it is. These men just like, when you look at a trans woman, upon appearance, they are women. There was another thing that I think rubbed me the wrong way, and I think this is where rubbing people the wrong way. They think that when it comes down to trans women, that they're tricking these men into getting with them and not telling them that they are trans women. When I tell you this, as somebody who's been a part of the Levitical community and part of 20 years in as an adult, I can tell you, these men know. They know about these girls and their souls being clocked. They are well aware that about these trans girls. So if these men have been, oh, I didn't know, I was tricked. I gotta take your life when we hear those situations because I've been found out or whatever the case is. These men know they want to keep it a secret. That's how you should keep it. If we're gonna quote Escape, they want to sit up in there and keep these women as a dirty little secret. And then when Nene up in here saying like, okay, now if that's not something you want to get with, because we've seen Insecure has covered this stuff when it was like a guy had in his past in college, he had a same-sex encounter and that rubbed one of the characters the wrong way. I believe they did the same story on Sex and the City. And there's a lot of women that get in that mindset, or they think that, oh, if a guy gets with another guy, then he's gay or he's this, he's that. It's like men are experimenting. I think also people need to realize that men are not yours. They're not yours to decide on, or, you don't take ownership of men. If a man says that he is heterosexual, but gets with women and trans women, then that's his attraction. And then her obsession of, but you still got your man's toolbox. She didn't call it that, but that's what we're going to call it here. Oh, you got your man's toolbox. And they know about it? Yeah, she's a chick with a dick. It's not a secret. Maddie tells this all the time on her show. So people are well aware of what she got. She also said when she was on Fag Talk earlier that she believed that speaking of big back Cadillacs, that Michelle A.T. Alien put Nene up to ask her some of them questions. Because she said that, I guess, in the interview, she was down in the comments and she was saying her little things. So, do she feel that, and do I feel that Nene is homophobic or transphobic? I don't think she is, but I do feel like, based off of some of her mentality, this is a teachable moment. I do feel like that she needs to understand that the queer spectrum, gender identity, sexual orientation is a lot bigger than what she is aware of. And I don't understand how you living up in Atlanta and you're not that aware of the variety of the LGBTQIA plus community. Like, are you only hanging out with sissies and punks that sit up in here and beat your face like a drag queen and put and glue a lace front down to your head? Like, are those the only people that you're hanging around with? Like, are you not aware of, and how you not aware? Like, you know what? If to me, it feels like her interview style is similar to Screaming for Hudson. Really? Oh my God, I heard a birdie tell me that you still got your dick. Is that true? Like, she gives that with her interview style. And I understand the whole talk show thing, but sis, you really got a lot of work cut out for you if you out here trying to do this whole talk show game. And part of it is listening. And so I like the idea that she was asking the questions, but you also have to listen and learn. And if that's not something you want to get with, that, okay, I can't deal with no man that gets with trans women, well, you better move out of Atlanta, quiet as a step, then, because slim pickings out there. What you get, I guess you only gonna date Nigerians for the rest of your damn life, and even some of them is suspect. So I want to see what some of the people, because I think they were saying like some people in the comments was giving stuff in regards of this. Yeah, so she was saying she wasn't hiding it. And Madison also said it's important to make men feel comfortable to say they find things attractive outside of what society accepts. And she said all women should be taking PrEP. And that is true, because even Tamar said that in an IG post, and people looking at her like she was crazy. It's like, no, PrEP is not only for gay men. Women take it, heterosexuals take it. I know plenty of straight people that take PrEP. And it's like, yeah, you should be on PrEP, you should be on DoxyPep, you should be on all of that stuff. You should be out here protecting yourselves from all kinds of diseases, including HIV. So let's not still be in their mindset that HIV is a gay man's disease. Because trust and believe, I know plenty of heterosexuals that got it too. And this is from me working for an organization for people who are infected and affected by HIV and AIDS. So yes, and that was 20 some odd years ago when I was working there as a receptionist. But so it was like, yes, I knew, I know the people, and still I go with them this, every year. Shout out to ACQC, who is, the forefront of that. They were just at Queen's Pride. I didn't get to go this year, but usually I'll be marching with them and on their floats and stuff. But anyway, so yeah, so people were going in on Nene. And T.S. Madison had to get on social media to clarify that the exchange was not a contentious one. She said, fighting with Nene Leakes over my identity, two people sitting down discussing attraction and dating was fighting? Okay. Then she posted a lengthy explainer elaborating on some of the points that she made during the tape interview. So, some people wrote on Twitter, and I'm going to get to what Nene had to say because it was lengthy as the comment made. So, they said Nene Leakes being a transphobic bigot on camera in front of T.S. Madison just irked my soul. You won't irk my soul. You won't irk my soul. They said that woman was never for us. This is what one person wrote on Twitter in reaction to the interview. While another added, Nene wants to maintain a false sense of privilege and refuse to acknowledge that what men are attracted to when they see her and T.S. Madison is the same thing. Femininity doesn't belong exclusively to cisgendered women, and the some people get mad with the whole cisgender thing, but that is a medical term. So we'll say bi women. And the insecure amongst us can't take that. Please don't get Jess He Not Lariat started up, because you already know this is like catnip for her ass. Trans women are women. Her and J.K. Rowling. Now, others defended leaks, with one user noting that Nene is allowed to not want a man who loves trans women. Yes, exactly. I do agree like that. And do I think that she is transphobic? I don't think that Nene is transphobic or homophobic. I think she has a lot to learn in regards of our community. And I think that she is uneducated in a lot of ways. And I do think that this is a teachable moment. If she's willing to open herself up and understand that, then I'm here for it. Now, she was out here saying all kinds of crazy stuff towards the trans, which I don't think she is. I just think that in her mind, she's so caught up in, but you got your penis and like, okay, like I think a lot of y'all need to get beyond that. Y'all be so obsessed with what people got between their legs. And it's not just Nene, it just be straight people in general that don't really encounter a lot of trans folks. Maybe I don't see it. And so maybe I see it differently because I've been around trans people since, I was young, especially going, being in New York and going down to the piers and hanging out with the houses and the fagettes and the trans girls and all the other stuff. Houses mean like the house of Aviance, La Beja, all of them. So, when you are a child of the piers before the piers was gentrified, we see things differently because I've been around all of that. So, maybe it's different for me because I've been used to being around trans people and being around, my brethren as I was trying to figure out who the hell I was coming up as a wee little gay. Or as I like to say on this show, homosexual. So yeah, so like I said, yeah, others offended. Other commenters under the interview on YouTube praised Maddie for her willingness to explain things to leaks, saying T.S. Madison is so patient for explaining and educating Nene on gender, sexuality, and attraction, said one commenter. With another writing, she was so patient and unconfrontational about explaining and educating Nene and us. And I agree with that. And I feel like we need more of that. Like if Maddie was taking the time to be like, you know what, I hear you, I understand you. I'm not going to go on your platform and curse you out and windmill on you and do all the other stuff. This is a teachable moment for me to actually sit down and educate people who don't actually watch fag talk or follow T.S. Madison around that have a certain perception of trans people. It's like, no, this is a moment where I can channel my inner Laverne Cox and really come at y'all and speak to you in a way that isn't like ratchet, hood, that sort of thing, which Nene, I mean, Nene stay like that, but where Maddie can, she can go there with that. So anyway, let's shout out the Jasmine brand because they had the whole situation on what it was that, wait, hold on, let me see if I could. I was like, why is it not coming up? Okay, there it is. Because I was like, I had the thing. So yeah, here's what she said. She said, here are some facts. Let's discuss. Number one, if you are a female that's dated multiple men in your life, it's a possibility that one of those men have experienced something you may deem gay. Number two, trans women are desirable to men who identify as straight as well. Number three, men who identify as gay do not date or desire trans women. That is a fact. Because it's like, if you are feminine, female presenting, and you're a gay man, we ain't trying to fuck no trans woman. Now, I will say this, because there are some trans men out there, and I'll speak for me. There have been many times where I've looked at trans men, and it's like, yeah, okay, that'd be the only time I'm sticking my dick. And now I've had sex with women in the past. So I'm not a gold star homosexual. But if you are a trans man and you happen to have a coochie, I wouldn't mind sticking, pounding that out. Because it's like you are male presenting. So I could totally see in a way that it's like, and there are some straight women who look at gay men and slept with them or have been like, oh, I would totally hit that because they're open-minded in that way. So sexuality, gender identity, all of that is nuanced. It is fluid. It is not black and white. And I feel like people need to look at that. We need to take all that religious doctrine, all that hocus pocus BS out of stuff and just kind of realize that human beings, people in general, are complex. Nothing is black and white. There's a little gray in everything. Even though it's a dour color, well, gray is everything. But let me finish. They said sexual orientation are gay, lesbian, bisexual, and pansexual, among other things, because we have so many damn things. Identities are trans, queer, non-binary, gender non-conforming. Number 6, male and man are different constructs. Number 7, female and women are different constructs. Lastly, PrEP is so needed in all of our communities, not just LGBTQ. Black women, please talk to your PCP about, and that is primary care provider, for those who don't know, about PrEP. Thank you, and Nene Leaks, for having me on your show. This is a difficult conversation for a lot of people. Thanks for having fun with me. So yeah, I know this is a lot. It is definitely a lot to break down, and I'm with her on that. And yeah, Maddie, I'm glad that you actually took the time to really explain to people, the complexities of sexuality and gender identity. And so, yes, I want to hear from you, respectfully. What do you guys think of this story? Don't put no transphobia, no homophobia, all that other mess. Don't that God made Adam, because you put that shit up in here, I'm blocking you. So, respectfully, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story in regards of, we want grown people with some damn sense putting their comments up in here. So I definitely want to hear from y'all, because we grown, we're mature, and we can have real conversations over here without being nasty, without being rude, without being messy. But you can be fun messy. Just not messy. So yeah, I definitely want to hear from y'all, but let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.